We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Life sometimes makes us anxious, stressed, and fearful of things that haven't really happened. We often imagine worst-case scenarios, worry about things that haven't occurred yet, and cause ourselves suffering. But as Seneca pointed out, we often suffer more in our imagination than in reality. This quote affirms an important truth. The pain we feel does not always come from what actually happens, but primarily arises from our minds and our anxious thoughts. So, how can we overcome these fears and live a more peaceful life? Let's explore the profound lessons from Seneca's philosophy to better understand how to control the mind and face life with resilience. In life, we often worry about things that haven't happened yet, but we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. People are often controlled by worries and fears, but sadly, most of these feelings don't come from reality. They stem only from imagination in our minds. Seneca pointed out a profound truth that we often suffer more from our thoughts and anxieties about things that haven't occurred or situations that aren't real, rather than from the actual challenges we face. This is one of the reasons why people cannot live in peace, as the mind constantly creates worst-case scenarios, making us believe that difficulties are endless, when in fact they are not. This reflects a common phenomenon in daily life. We easily imagine the worst possible situations, from not completing tasks, being criticized, failing in relationships, to disappointing others. These fears are just products of the mind and can become an invisible burden that dominates our decisions and actions. We get stuck in these imaginations and build mental barriers, preventing us from acting and engaging with reality. Seneca advises that to truly live fully and reduce suffering, we must learn to control and be aware of these thoughts. Do not let imaginary worries dominate the mind, but instead, face the present and actual challenges calmly. If we can manage our emotions and not let them be influenced by imaginations, we will not only reduce suffering, but also live a life that is free and fearless. The reason we suffer more in imagination is because the mind tends to magnify difficulties and challenges. Small things in life can become insurmountable problems when we let them dominate our thoughts. That is why Seneca's lesson is a reminder of the importance of clarity in thinking. When we realize that most of our pain comes from baseless worries, we will begin to master our emotions and easily overcome every real challenge without feeling weighed down by imagination. In this way, Seneca's words invite us to live more mindfully and not get caught up in the negative cycles of the mind. When we understand that most of the pain we experience, we will find a way to live a lighter, less anxious life, and thus live a more meaningful and free life. However, when it comes to facing challenges in life, Seneca affirms that it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. One of the most important things we have is time, but we often don't realize its value until it's too late. Seneca emphasizes that the issue is not that we have too little time to live, but that we waste so much of it. This is a profound wake-up call for all of us, especially in today's modern world, where we always feel like we're racing against time, but often overlook the precious moments life offers. The hours spent meaninglessly, the repetitive habits without purpose, make us lose the ability to live fully and meaningfully. Seneca points out that time is something we can't get back. We cannot buy more time, nor can we slow its flow. Every passing minute is an opportunity lost, and when we waste time on things that are not truly important, we are missing the chance to live a complete and meaningful life. This does not mean we must work endlessly, but rather that we must know how to use time consciously, choosing activities that help us grow and build valuable relationships. Seneca's words are a reminder that we often squander time on unimportant things, from worries about the future to chasing unclear goals. Today's society, with its fast-paced lifestyle, dependence on technology, and external influences, leaves us with little time to focus on what truly matters. We might spend hours watching TV, scrolling through social media, or pursuing short-term goals without realizing that every moment passing is a step forward into an uncertain future. Seneca not only criticizes the wasting of time, but also calls for us to plan and have clear purposes in life. This doesn't mean we have to live in stress or worry, but that we must value every moment, find meaning in what we do, and ensure that every action has a purpose. Doing this will help us realize that, even though life may be short, we can use time to experience and grow in ways that we find most important. If everyone lives with a sense of time and what they want to achieve, life will become more fulfilling, and we will feel less regret about the moments that have passed. Seneca's advice is not only a warning, but also a living strategy. He encourages us to re-examine our habits and change how we use time to be more effective. What we do today, whether small or simple, has a long-term impact on our lives. When we live with awareness and purpose, we will never feel like time is passing without meaning. On the contrary, we will always appreciate the value of every moment in life. Finally, Seneca points out that the wasting of time is not because time is too short, but because of how we use it. When we learn to live mindfully and proactively, we will not only be more aware of time, but also able to master our lives. This will help us live a life that is not only successful, but also deeply meaningful. And when we look back, we will not regret the moments that have passed. Seneca continues to point out that, to truly grow and improve, a gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. In life, everyone desires to become the best version of themselves, but few realize that the path to perfection is never a bed of roses. Seneca, with his deep understanding, emphasized that to become the best person, we must go through challenges and difficulties, as it is those hardships that shape us into stronger and more perfect individuals. Seneca's words are not just a philosophy of life, but also a strong reminder that difficulties are an inseparable part of the development and growth of each person. In life, we often tend to avoid difficulties and seek comfort. This is completely understandable, as no one wants to face difficult challenges and test themselves. However, if we only live in safety and comfort, we will never have the opportunity to grow. Just like a gem, it cannot become shiny and beautiful without undergoing a process of polishing and friction. Similarly, we cannot become excellent individuals if we don't overcome difficulties and challenges. The challenges in life are opportunities for us to test our abilities and refine our character. It is in those painful and difficult moments that we truly discover our limits, and from there, we can surpass them. Seneca not only teaches us that challenges are necessary, but also wants to emphasize that perfection doesn't come from ease, but from the effort and persistence in facing and overcoming hardships. We need the spirit to face difficulties without fearing failure, because it is through failures that we learn the most important lessons about life, about ourselves, and about the world around us. When we face failure, we not only learn how to rise up, but also develop the ability to adapt and innovate. Without challenges, we would never develop the ability to face difficulties in the future, and would also fail to uncover untapped potential within ourselves. Moreover, challenges and difficulties are valuable lessons that help us understand and appreciate life's values. Only when we face loss, failure, or difficulties in work and life do we realize the value of perseverance, continuous effort, and persistence. These are the qualities that each person needs to achieve long-term success. Challenges are the best teachers, because only through stumbling can we learn, grow, and move forward more steadily on the path to our goals. When we see life not as a smooth road, but as a journey full of challenges, we will realize that each difficulty is an opportunity to sharpen ourselves. That's why Seneca affirms that perfection cannot exist without trials. A person who wants to achieve greatness cannot avoid difficulties, but must embrace them as an inseparable part of life's journey. When we bravely face challenges, we not only master ourselves, but also create a life full of prosperity, meaning, and completeness. Finally, the lesson from Seneca's words for future generations is a deep reminder that in life, we cannot avoid difficulties. However, it is those difficulties that will help us grow, improve, and become stronger individuals. capable of overcoming any challenges in the future. The world is not lacking in challenges, but it is lacking people who dare to face them and learn from them to become a better version of themselves. However, to become a brave and free person, as Seneca said, "He who is brave is free." In the modern world, where many external factors can influence and change our lives, the concept of freedom has become increasingly complex. People often believe that freedom comes from power, financial status, or control over their circumstances. However, Seneca, with his deep insight and understanding, points out that true freedom does not come from external factors, but from within a person, especially from courage and the willingness to face challenges. "He who is brave is free" is a powerful reminder that courage is not only a quality of heroes on the battlefield, but a necessary virtue to truly be free in a world filled with threats and hardships. Seneca asserts that courage is not only shown in grand actions, but also in small decisions in everyday life. Courage is the willingness to overcome fear, the ability to face uncertainty, and the strength to rise when facing difficulties. We often fear uncertainty in life, fear loss, fear failure, or fear criticism. However, only when we overcome these fears and dare to do what is right on the path we've chosen, can we experience true freedom. The freedom that Seneca speaks of is liberation from the domination of fear and unnecessary worries. When we dare to live with ourselves and not let fear dictate every decision, that is when we can truly have control over our lives. This quote also relates to how we can free ourselves from dependency on external factors. In modern society, many people feel they must conform to the standards and expectations of society to gain acceptance and success. They work not out of passion, but out of fear of failure or fear of being left behind. Through this statement, Seneca asserts that courage is freedom from these psychological burdens. When we dare to live authentically, not bound by the expectations of others, we are truly free. Courage is the strength to live true to ourselves, without wearing a facade or adhering to societal norms we do not believe in. The courage Seneca refers to is also the ability to face pain and loss without breaking down. Life is not always smooth, and difficulties and challenges are inevitable. However, courage helps us maintain our spirit, not letting life's upheavals bring us down, but instead helping us learn and grow from those hardships. Courage is not the denial of pain, but the ability to accept it, to face it without letting it control our lives. When we can confront pain, failure, and challenges without being overwhelmed by them, that is when we truly become free, no longer bound by fear and insecurity. Finally, the lesson from Seneca's quote is a reminder that true freedom comes from within. It is not the liberation from rules or social pressures, but the ability to master oneself, face challenges courageously, and live a complete and sincere life. When we dare to stand up and live the path we have chosen, not letting fear or external pressure dictate us, we will experience the true freedom that Seneca spoke of. Courage is the key that opens the door to freedom within us, helping us live a meaningful life without regret. Finally, Seneca concludes that no man was ever wise by chance. In life, we often admire wise people and think they possess something special that we don't have. Or sometimes, that wisdom comes naturally, like luck. However, Seneca, with his profound insight, affirms that no one becomes wise by chance. Wisdom is the result of persistent effort, continuous learning, and experience. Therefore, to achieve wisdom and deep understanding, one must truly invest time and energy in learning and reflection. First, Seneca emphasizes that intelligence is not a gift given from birth, but the result of a process of cultivation. Wise and insightful people do not achieve this by chance, but through constantly exploring the world, learning from mistakes, and relentless effort to improve themselves. This requires an active attitude toward life, not passive, being ready to learn from all experiences in life. Wisdom is built over time, from embracing challenges and facing difficult lessons, bitter experiences and failures. Every stumble is a valuable lesson that brings us closer to the wisdom we desire. Moreover, Seneca points out that wisdom is not only the accumulation of knowledge, but also the ability to apply knowledge to reality. Wisdom is not just knowing what is right or wrong, but knowing how to act correctly in every situation, how to use that knowledge effectively, and bring benefits to oneself and others. True wisdom requires the ability to analyze, evaluate, and make sound decisions in complex situations, thus helping us make the best choices in life. This becomes even more important in the context of the modern world, where information and knowledge are easily accessible, but not all of it is valuable. In a society filled with conflicting and inaccurate information, wisdom becomes the ability to distinguish between right and wrong, between useful information and information that distorts thinking. Not everyone can analyze and filter out misleading information by themselves, but it is wisdom that helps us draw lessons from life and selectively choose knowledge to serve the purposes of personal and societal development. Seneca also asserts that wisdom is not something that happens by chance, but the result of focusing on developing thinking, persistently cultivating qualities like patience, humility, and the willingness to learn. It requires a growth mindset and self-awareness, understanding that even when we achieve some level of understanding, there is still much to learn. This continuous learning attitude is the key element to achieving true wisdom in life. Finally, Seneca's teaching about wisdom is a profound piece of advice for future generations, saying that wisdom is not a matter of luck, but the result of effort, learning, and experience. To become wise, we need to learn from every experience, reflect on our actions, and always strive to improve ourselves. By doing this, each person can gradually build a strong intellect and achieve insight in every decision and action. After reflecting on these meaningful thoughts, I invite you to open a new page, The Extraordinary Life of Seneca. His achievements are the proof of his unwavering strength and desire to rise above challenges. Seneca, with his sharp intellect and deep vision, overcame great challenges in life, from family struggles and political career challenges to deep inner conflicts. He was not only a great philosopher, but also a person who had a significant impact on shaping the moral foundation and way of life in ancient Roman society. His life was a journey full of contradictions, but it was precisely those hardships, loneliness, and challenges that forged Seneca into a resilient, unyielding figure in ideals and philosophy. Seneca's life and career were filled with challenges, creativity, and deep philosophical reflections, reflecting the ongoing struggle between reason and emotion, between a life that worships power and high moral values. Born around 4 BC in Cordoba, Spain, into an aristocratic family, Seneca grew up with an excellent education and quickly demonstrated his talent in philosophy and literature. His career began as a philosopher and orator, but gradually he became involved in politics, becoming an advisor to Emperor Nero during the early years of his reign. Although living in a power-driven and ambitious empire, Seneca always maintained faith in the philosophy of Stoicism, a philosophy that emphasizes self-control, emotional mastery, and living a moral life. His teachings on patience, stoicism, and wisdom became the foundation for dealing with adversity in life. His prominent works, especially Letters to Lucilius, provided the world with deep lessons on maintaining inner peace, keeping tranquility, and controlling oneself in the face of challenges. His advice on anger, death, and how to live a good life still have a significant influence on modern philosophical and psychological studies. Although he was also a talented writer and playwright, with famous plays such as Phaedra and Medea, Seneca did not only evoke emotions through art, but also embedded moral and philosophical theories in his works. However, Seneca's life was not just about theories and writings. He also faced real challenges in politics, especially with his complex and tense relationship with Nero, who sentenced him to death for being accused of involvement in a conspiracy against the emperor. His tragic death in 65 AD did not diminish the value of the lessons he left for the world. The meaningful gift that Seneca left us through his biography and career is not only philosophical theories or artistic plays, but a strong reminder of how to live independently and ethically in a world full of turbulence and challenges. His advice on maintaining the soul, living with purpose, and facing death courageously continues to be valuable lessons for every generation. Seneca's legacy shows that, despite the hardships and suffering in life, people can still find inner peace and live a meaningful life if they know how to master themselves and adhere to enduring values. The lessons from Seneca's philosophy offer a powerful source of inspiration, not only for individuals, but also for nations and humanity. He taught us that challenges and hardships should not be avoided, but seen as opportunities for growth and improvement. For nations, Seneca's reminder is to face crises with courage, not let fear paralyze decisions. A strong nation is built from people who dare to face challenges, skillfully use time and resources to develop sustainably. For humanity, Seneca's philosophy is a call for true freedom, where people are not imprisoned by useless worries, but cherish time, face difficulties with resilience, and continuously learn from every experience. Through these lessons, the future of the world will be built on wisdom, unity, and courage.